My name is Mark Fratto, and I'm the voice of the Washington Commanders at FedEx Field. You're listening to the Command This podcast with Steve, Dev, and Phil.
What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our weekly live stream. I'm your boy, Steve. I'm joined by my man, Phil, who almost didn't make it tonight. And Mr. Dev. It's February 29th, the last day of February, and we are in the heart of the NFL Combine. So we're here to talk about it this week. But it's not just the Combine that happened. There's a lot of other things that happened throughout this week. Oh, someone's got a loud truck in the background. Look at that. But yes, fellas, how's your week going by so far? How we living?
Yo, I raced back down here from the state of Pennsylvania just so I could be here. I was out of town on work purposes and made it just into. I pulled into the house after 8:20, so just in time.
All right. Well, we are glad to have you, Phil, as always. But a lot happened this week. There hasn't been really any movement on anything for the Chicago Bears. So all that stuff's still up in the air. We don't want to sit here and talk about quarterbacks for an hour like we tend to do sometimes. We do it, but I don't know. So far, what are your guys' impressions of the combine and the management so far? How do you think they're doing overall? Phil, we'll start with you.
Here's what I don't understand. Why is everybody mad that Josh Harris, in his first full year as owner, is sitting in on these interviews, kind of seeing the process and, kind of seeing how it goes with the NFL and just being involved with the team? I know we all have flashbacks to Dan Snyder meddling with draft picks and so forth, but Dan never went to the combine and sat in on interviews. Dan already had ideas of who he wanted to draft, whether or not he knew anything about the football. Right. I don't mind, and Harris himself has said he's not going to be in the war room on draft night interfering with draft picks. Like he may be present, but that's about it. So I don't understand why people make such a big deal out of it. Let the owner, until the owner does something that we can say, yep, you're meddling and it's screwing things up. Why not just let it happen and see what happens?
Yeah,
let the man cook.
Let that man cook. Let that man cook, as the kids always say, right? That's the new lingo. Let's go and get this music out of here. Deb, what about you, man? How you feeling about the combine so far?
I haven't watched it.
That's fair. That's a fair. So we need to rely on the chat.
I literally work from 5 in.the.morning till 4 p.m. I haven't watched one thing. I do listen to Danny and
Grant,
D. Mitch, and all of them, Grant, and I do listen to the junkies and stuff in the morning at work.
I'm sorry for all that, bro.
Yeah, but that's the most, and it's half-assed too because I'm building engines the whole time. So it's like so I'm half-assed listening. I did hear. I think I heard an interview with the GM today a little bit. I think maybe I don't know if that was a two-player one where they talked to him, but
okay.
As far as I know, I didn't really know what's going on. Who all performed at the thing today? Just quarterbacks? Was it quarterbacks today?
I don't know. I am in your same boat. My phone's off from, 7 to 5, and then I'm picking up family and kids. So I'm here to play catch up with you as well. I've been paying attention to a lot of what the team's been doing, what they've been interviewing. Haven't really got to dive into the players' performances, although there was a bunch of defensive linemen ran some 40s today. So kind of slowly starting to dive into that.
Okay, I got some highlights here.
Quarterbacks throw this weekend. I think that's what everyone's being prepared for. There was a lot of D linemen and linebackers, I think, ran today. So
top three quarterbacks.
Linebackers win today. Tomorrow it's defensive backs and tight ends. Saturday, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. Sunday, offensive linemen.
Fair. All right. See, we're close. But first and foremost, let's get to talking about FedEx Field. So we're calling this one Farewell to FedEx. I know some of you guys have been tracking the goings on with FedEx Field and what's been happening. So, before you do that, let's say hi to people in the chat. Thank you for joining us. So, Rivers Reese, thank you for tuning in. Todd Samuel, always a pleasure. Our number one Jaden Daniels fan. Ryan Elias says RFK News, looking to see what's next. Tia, what's up, Tia? Thank you for tuning in as always. Says Josh don't know how things go. Fans is tripping. They getting on my nerve. Yes, and she's referring to the clip of Josh Harris talking about, he was present in a lot of the interviews with the quarterbacks, with the quarterbacks, and he's just trying to learn the process. And we're going to talk about that here in a quick second after we talk about FedEx Field. Todd said, of course, Josh just wants to make sure we get Jaden. I expect nothing less from you, Todd. Of course.
So y'all want to get into some of this combine info?
Quickly, we can do it quickly. We can save it for the end.
We'll save it for the end because there's some interesting numbers I'm looking at already here.
Yeah, we'll save it for the end. Marcus Edlin, sports creator of Sports V2 on Facebook. Please go make sure you follow him. So what's up, family? I think people who are upset about Harris in the interview is stupid. The media hypes up that too much. Even him being a businessman, he just made the biggest investment of his life, which he did. Dan Snyder not going to be picking who I want president, though. Enjoy. Yes, that is. You couldn't be more true. For those who haven't paid attention, Josh Harris. We posted on our Command This Podcast Twitter. If you're not following it, please go follow. We would greatly appreciate it. But it got a lot of traction today. Didn't expect all the discussion we were going to get today, but Josh Harris, according to Adam Schefter, was attending his first combine with the Commanders. He took part of 6 interviews the team conducted with the top quarterback prospects, and a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say on our post. Some people think it's a red flag that he was there. Why is the owner meeting the quarterbacks? And some people are like, who cares, right? Well, who cares if the owner wants to meet with the potential future of his franchise? So, Dev, I'll start with you. Do you care that Josh Harris was in the interview room with Adam Peters as they were talking to these quarterbacks? Is that a red flag for you?
No, it'd be a red flag if he wasn't. This guy put 6 Billies on the line, bro. And
yes.
You're potentially drafted the most important position of any sport. I gotta at least see if these guys are doing their job. Not only that, I gotta learn this stuff already because I'm already proficient in hockey and basketball front office stuff. I need to get proficient in this too. So I need to know how this process is done so I know you're doing it right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's in there like RG3 and making them pick guys and shit like that, but to be in the room, at least taking part in the questioning and get the information he needs to find his, face of the franchise. Yeah, I would be in there too, man. I would be in there every pick. I'd be in the war room. I'd be in there when the envelope comes up. I'd be in there for all of it, man. I got to know what's going on. At least this first couple of times around. I got to at least know I can trust these guys, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's what I do.
Yeah, fair. And for those watching here on Facebook, the next comment we see Jason Donaway here. Jason, make sure if you're watching on Facebook, hit that link at the top of the post so we can see your name in the stream, or you can flip over to YouTube for a better experience. Phil, what about you? Big deal? No big deal?
No, like I said, I think it's better that he be involved in. I'd rather he be involved and have input with the guys, or be able to have the discussions about what they found out in interviews and so forth, than him be completely ignorant to all that and then showing up on draft day and saying, "I override you."
Word.
I mean, at least if he does override somebody, he was there at the combine and involved.
That's true.
So, but I don't think he is. He's pretty much stated that he's not that guy, and we'll find out.
Right.
But, I'd much rather he be involved now if he's going to be involved.
Right.
Yeah. see how the process works. It's his first time, and then go from there. What's up, dudes? Red Zone on the Lab said, "Command this field at Landover." Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's call
Everybody
it.
chip in $1. See what happens.
Let's go. Wonder if they'll ever be publicly traded one day. Probably not, but yeah, I'll just read a couple. And I'm with you guys. It's not a red flag at all. I think it's awesome. This isn't Dan Snyder coming in off his yacht to make the pick. This is a new owner. A couple comments we had on Twitter.
And so what if it was? So what if it was? Some of y'all need therapy, man. Like
it's
one
PTSD,
bad.
Dev.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's Snyder. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it, but everyone's thinking about Snyder.
Right.
It wasn't even worth tweeting by Schefter, but since he tweeted it, we have to talk about it. It's not even
Schefter knows that anything said about our ownership that is just a statement of fact that might in any way resemble something Dan Snyder did, it's going to get people talking. He just wants the engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Walls on Twitter says he's new to the NFL. The process also likely evaluating those that are asking questions to see if they're worth keeping around long term. Still a lot of internal evaluations going on. King James says Snyder PTSD. Rick Wilson said Snyder's gonna fly in from his yacht and make the pick. Yes, of course. That's what David Morales says. This is not a red flag. He's the owner. He has the right to do what he's like. I'm a New Jersey Devils fan, and he's always been involved in some way, shape, or form. So I think that's pretty cool. Our friend Justin Tittman says it's not a great look after what we've been through. I think people after revisionist history. I do think he wants to see the process. I just don't see Adam Peters coming here if Harris is going to be involved. I think Harris has autonomy. I really think he does. I really do. I mean, Peters. Sorry. Yeah. By Caleb Justin said. Recalibrating, not rebuilding. Caleb said he wants to learn how the process is in the NFL. He's not meddling. But our guy, James Jubain Jubbs, he said, I'm in the draft room in the NBA. This is Josh Harris, I quote tweet, by the way, air quotes. I'm in the draft room in the NBA and would expect to be in the draft room in the NFL. He said this back in September. You want to understand the process. You're not picking players. When we went from 53 players during final roster cuts, I asked to be brief on some of the harder decisions, but I didn't want to be in the room because I don't want the process to be altered. So everything you guys just said, he said that back in September. So I think it's fair. Not a big deal. Jacqueline Pierce Allen, thank you for watching on Facebook, says, I'm so disappointed in the report card scored by our players. Yes, Jacqueline, we're going to talk about that at the end. The NFL Players Association team grades. That's the third topic we're going to talk about. So please stay tuned. We must improve our training facility, locker room for better accommodation for our players and families. Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I have some questions on what does some of that stuff even mean. So I don't know. Chris Reed, because he owns the motherfucking team, I believe he can do what he wants. Forgive me of my language.
He's not wrong.
Not the motherfucking team. Not the motherfucking team.
The motherfucking team.
That's right. He can do what he wants.
He definitely owns the motherfucking team.
Yeah. Rivers Reese says, I agree. People like red flags and all that, besides trying to figure out how things work. Yep. Ryan Elias, Snyder PTSD. That's right. Phil, we got someone else on Facebook. Not sure who it is.
Bernadette Marie.
Okay, Bernadette, please hit that link at the top of the post, or you can flip on over to to YouTube if you like, so we can see your name on the stream. So farewell to FedEx Field. If you guys haven't paid attention, FedEx actually pulled their
balls.
Not balls.
Balls.
They pulled their naming rights, their sponsorship from FedEx Field 2 years early.
Well, they said why that was though.
The Commanders came out with a post saying, yes, we appreciate everything FedEx done. We were in the search for a new name, blah, 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 blah. So they're going to stay at the stadium until 2027, but it's odd with the timing, and that's what I wanted to get to. So FedEx has taken their name off of the field that we formerly known as Jack and Cook Stadium. So now it doesn't have a sponsor. At the same time, concurrently, it was voted for in DC today, in the House, Congress, to a bipartisan vote of 347 to 53 to give the RFK site to DC, because if I'm not mistaken, Phil, you can correct me, I believe the National Park Service owned it before, or it was controlled by them. Correct. And so this vote, which has now passed, gives 99 years. So DC can manage this site for 99 years where RFK is. And so there's supposed to be another debate about what's going to go there, housing, development, all that stuff. So for FedEx to be pulled off, there's no name, the vote being passed in the House. This all points to me like the Commanders moving back to RFK.
I'm coming home.
Yes.
I'm coming home.
But Phil, let me ask you this, and those in the chat: what should the temporary name be? Because Jason Wright came out and said they're likely going to be in FedEx Field past 2027. That's what he said. That's what he said today. Jason Wright said they'll likely be in Landover past 2027. So, what would be a good name for this future field that we know as FedEx Field?
Joe Gibbs Field.
That's being thrown out there a lot. Joe Gibbs Field. I don't know. Do you have any recommendations? I thought Fanatics would be an easy one because there's already a Fanatics sports book inside of the field now. Why not just give them? But people have to pay. I think you got to pay the team. The Commander said this was $15 million a year FedEx was paying to put their name on top of the stadium. Thanks. So now that's now done. So someone's got to come up with money to put their name on that stadium.
Command, this might do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, for $15.
I got 5 on it.
Phil, you have any ideas of what a good sponsor would be?
Command this stadium,
whoever it is, I'm going to share my screen here.
Fast Black Field.
Whoever it is, please.
Bernadette, at the top of this post you're watching on Facebook,
Forum.
There's a link that says, before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at the top.
Get rid of the damn colors at the top here.
And it steals your nudes, by the way. Let you know.
So you're right, Phil. I think they're definitely going to change the color scheme.
I have a feeling I think they wanted to get rid of this FedEx bullcrap up here. And I think that FedEx was like, well, fine, we're going to pull our naming. Because it's FedEx colors.
Yeah.
And, well, it's funny, actually, because they did. Actually, I take that back. They did change that. When the new ownership came in, they changed it to Commanders colors. And I think that's why FedEx was like, we're not going to sponsor this year because you pulled our colors.
Yeah.
So they had it. And this is actually a couple years old. But they changed all those colors at the top from FedEx to burgundy and gold.
Right.
So I think that had something to do with it. But yeah, keep it that way.
Yep. I'm with you. Deuce says because of the sale, it opened up the option to remove naming rights. There you go. So I think a lot of this must have been building, right? It couldn't have just been, like that. I've heard Joe Jackson Gibbs Stadium. You could always, I don't think you want to go back to Jack Can't Cook, but you could be sponsorless if you wanted to say, we don't need your stinking money. The Fanatics in the group chat, a couple guys were talking about the top 10 big companies in the area. You have like SAIC, you have Lockheed, you have a couple of the defense contractors, you have Fannie Mae. You got a couple of these big companies in the DC area that might be willing to, but with the new stadium, it's almost like, can you guarantee me anything more than, the land over time? What about the new stadium? What about RFK? Because if I'm a company, I want to be on that RFK stadium straight up, Ryan Elias said, it was sad to hear this team locker room was dealing with sewage flood issues. I would fucking hate playing for this team too. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in 2 topics here. But we're kind of talking about the first 2 so far, the DC voting on the RFK. We have another person that says Redskins.
That's Bernadette again. I don't know why, because Jason Wright came out and said that name's not changing. Commanders is staying, is basically what he said.
It's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Stamp it.
He literally said it. So when Chris Reed says this, well, I'm hearing that Commander's name is going to be out too. No, wrong. He explicitly said the name isn't changing anytime soon. And they have consistently said that since the name changed. Okay? Now, I'm not one of these people that believe the name should have been changed, but once you've opened Pandora's box, you can't close it.
Right.
So either it's like, stop putting out these false rumors and just feeding and fanning the flames. You talk about other people who accept the name change are not real fans. No, real fans don't try to create more divide.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, hold on. And Todd Samuel. Here's Todd Samuel. They got mad at me today. Todd, but you were an asshole about it.
There's a right way to eat a Reese's and a wrong way to eat a Reese's, Todd. That's the point. Thomas Millen says
2 weeks ago. Well, it was straight out of our team president's mouth yesterday.
Yeah,
no one on FS1 had a source. It was undisclosed sources, which is code word for I'm speaking out of my ass.
And there's more politics because if a company is going to put their name on that stadium, you're going to have to abide by whatever policy that they're going to. I mean, they kind of have a say not in your team name, but if you're thinking about switching names back to the team, Redskins, whatever, I don't care what the name is, they're going to have some say. Your sponsor is going to either approve or disapprove, and then you're not going to have a sponsor or you are going to have a sponsor. So,
well, not only that, but Nike can go ahead and not.
Yeah.
Nike can go ahead and just say, well, we're not going to sell jerseys just like last time. And then guess what? Now you can't buy any official merch for this team and show support for the Redskins name because anything you buy, they don't get the money.
Yes. There you go. Deuce says it has to go through the Senate and the president's desk. We have no representative in the Senate or anyone to officially lobby for us as Dale Norton was in the House. Deuce, that's your job, Deuce. I need you to do that. Need you to do that for us. But we'll see how it goes. It sounds like this is, of course, to be expected. All 8 of the Maryland representatives voted no. Not surprised. They want to keep the team in Landover. So Tia says Verizon. Well, remember, Capital One used to be the Verizon Center. So I don't know if they're itching.
I actually hate the fact that we can no longer call it the phone booth because there's no phone company sponsoring Cap One.
Yeah, I think Rails would have majority say in this category. Todd says Washington Tigers if they change the name. No,
I like that actually. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Hey, by the way, I know why he wants it.
If Todd wants to change the name to Tigers, he wants to change the colors to purple and gold. We all know what Todd wants.
No
fatality.
Man, look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. I've come to Todd's side, bro. I'm thinking. I used to say I want Harrison. I'll settle for your boy. But now I'm willing to go with him, man. Jaden Daniels is it for me too, man. I'm a Jaden Daniels or bust guy now, man.
I am too. I think he's my QB1 too. I only don't want him to get picked because of Todd so obnoxious about it. But I'm not gonna let that get in the way of me.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Jaden Daniels right now is my number 2.
He's my number 1.
Hey,
my number 1 is Caleb.
Caleb's my number 1. We're not going to get Caleb.
Okay, though, man. We're going to talk quarterbacks at the end, guys. If we talk quarterbacks, we'll talk about nothing else for the rest of the show. So let's get through these.
Yes, Danny.
We have Peters has a quarterback's quote that I want to talk about here. Thomas Millen says, let's see some change in the wins and organization. No one will give crickets about but the name. True, winning cures everything.
Marcus,
Washington Red Bulls, the name of the team.
Why are you bringing up that?
Well, Phil, we got to do it.
If they weren't going to be in the Bullets, it's not going to happen.
Especially if Sam Howell's not the quarterback anymore, I think I'm kind of off the Red Bulls.
Oh, I thought he said Washington Rebels. He said Red Bulls.
No, Red
He said Red Wolves.
The Rebels sound good, to be honest, if it wasn't the Rebels.
Remember, a lot of us thought, I thought Jeff Bezos was going to buy this team. So we thought it was going to be Amazon or Commanders Field or at Commanders Park at FedEx Field, all these things. But still could be. George Sunil, thank you for joining us, George. Says Washington Tomahawks. Actually, Tomahawks?
Can't do it, man. Indian related.
Is it too close? Is it too close?
It's not anything Native American, man.
Oh God, this Chris reads next comment. I'm about to tear it apart.
All right, go for it. You got all you feel. Go.
But you forgot Native Americans filed a lawsuit against Josh Harris. Oh, are you talking about the Native American Guardians Association, NAGA? Who, if you look at their board, it's all white people. There's not a single Native American running that organization.
Yeah, they fooled everyone.
Warren types.
They fooled everyone.
1,068 Indian.
I ain't heard that name in how long. What the fuck is Warren doing right now, man?
I thought the Nagas died of what died.
That organization doesn't represent anything. They literally formed. It was a bunch of white people saying that they're going to guard the traditions of the Native American people. And the only thing they're there is to change the name back from. They're not even messing with Cleveland.
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of white Washington fans over the age of 50.
The Washington Fish Bellies, bro.
I've looked at their board. It's all white people.
The Washington Fish Bellies. That's what it ought to be called, bro.
Okay, next topic.
If the Native Americans, are going to, if certain tribes are going to raise enough of a stink, and the other ones don't say anything, is the juice really worth the squeezing at this point?
No, it absolutely is not.
We're about to go into our 21, 22, 23, 24. We're about to go into our 5th season not as the Redskins.
Right.
It's time to get over that. That's
right.
Like on a 40-year virgin. Ain't no pussy worth that much argument. That's what I always say.
Don't put it on a pedestal, Dev.
Yeah.
Brian Lai said, "Fuck them Nagas." Todd Samuel said, "Old timers are trying to everything to get the name back to Redskins." Yeah, it's let it go, guys. It's not that important.
And
really
look. Whenever and it's simple. If you're referring to the franchise before 2020, I call them Redskins still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still wear my gear.
Yeah.
I still have that infamous leather Redskins jacket that Fred Brown wants to try to jack me for if he ever sees me out in public wearing it.
Oh yeah.
But it ain't going to happen because I can throw hands. But point is, I have Redskins.
I got Fred in that fight, man. I think Fred might get you. He might not get a Phoenix, whatever your wrestling name guy. He might not be able to get that guy.
Fred. Here's the thing. Fred may be faster than me, but he better hope I don't catch a limb because then he's done.
I got my
Man,
Redskins
right
there.
That's dope. There's some wrestlers that were at Campbellsville where I'm from that one of them put a guy in a chokehold and killed him the other day, man.
Now I believe it.
They had a manhunt.
You can make someone pass out from a front face lock. You give them a front chancery. All you gotta do is just squeeze their head, and they will pass out.
I think he rear naked choked him, but he killed him, man. He ran. They had locked down campus, man, and they locked down the campus. They choked the dude out, killed him. He's in prison right now.
Oh, man, look! Today. All of a sudden, I started ranting about the angry Nagas, and suddenly our view count went down. Bye bye.
Yeah, you can't say Nagas. You can't say Nagas.
I thought you were going to find, friendly fans here. And, I am a friendly fan, but I'm not friendly to people just being ignorant. I wish they'd never changed the name.
I'll put this on.
I wish they'd never changed the name.
Hey, Battlehawks is still Native American. You ain't getting no kind of Native American ideology in this motherfucker, dog.
But
I think we need to have an animal like the Gators or some shit. Washington Gators. They got alligators in Washington.
So basic.
No, man, we ain't in Florida. We know Gators. Gator, get the gat. What's that from, Dev? The Other Guys? Seen the movie The Other Guys?
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg or I think he froze.
we should call ourselves the Foggy Bottom Rats. Have you ever seen the size of those things?
I've seen DC rats, but not specifically Foggy Bottom.
Oh my God, they're massive.
All right, the next thing I want to talk about for stimulative context with you guys. So on our favorite radio show, The Junkies, Dan Quinn was on there the other day, bright and early too, super early, and he made a couple wordplay things. They did some rapid fire association of words, and they said, say the first thing that comes to your mind when we say these words. And so that's what they did. And it was kind of interesting. I know some people are going to take this out of context, but I'm just going to tell you what he said, and then you guys can let me know what you think. So his response for these words: for Terry McLaurin, explosive; Jonathan Allen, dominant; Sam Howell, tough; Caleb Williams, DC; Drake May, athletic; Jaden Daniels, game changer. That's what was said. I'm skipping ahead of topic. I'm sorry. I'll go back to the player grades and the NFL Player Association in a second. But he said explosive for Terry McLaurin. You know what? I'll just show you guys. We'll just skip right to all the stuff. Do you read anything into this? Is this reading too much into it? Because people are really tripping out over a lot of this stuff.
I think DC says it all. He wants Caleb.
I don't know, Dev. What do you think? Now, he didn't have time to think about these. These weren't prepared. It was literally just rapid fire. Go. Are these? Do you read anything between Jaden Daniels being called a game changer by Dan Quinn and Drake May just being called athletic? I mean, you're not going to tip your hand, right? You're muted, Dev. Mute.
Balls.
Dev.
I feel like Jaden Daniels being called a game changer. Does that mean I don't think that means he's not athletic. Does that mean Drake May's more athletic than him? No.
Yeah.
I just think you had to say something whenever they asked a question, you had to make an answer up. I don't know if that means anything, honestly. Like, what would you have said? What was he supposed to say if you asked, like, hey, when I asked you about Drake May, what do you think? What was he supposed to say?
I'm with you, Dev. What is he supposed to say?
What does that DC mean next to Caleb, though?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. I don't know.
That's his primary. That is his number one guy. If he can get Caleb, he'll get Caleb. Doesn't mean he'll trade up to get Caleb, but if Caleb falls to number 2, that's your guy.
That's not going to happen.
Are you sure?
Because either the Bears are going to take him or they're going to trade for somebody who's going to take him. That's not a way. That's not a way that guy goes number 2.
Yeah.
They're going to trade for him. Either they're going to take him or someone's going to trade for him to take him. No, he's going number 1.
What if the Bears put Jaden Daniels number 1?
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen, bro.
I mean, there's rumors floating.
Look, I'm telling you right now, I'm fully. If all 3 of those guys went to camp, I was 100% sure that Jaden Daniels was going to whoop their ass in camp. I told everybody that. I said, look, man, when it comes down to this underwear Olympics, dog, Jaden Daniels is going to blow the doors off all these motherfuckers.
Yeah, but none of the quarterbacks are doing anything in camp.
Throwing. Right, that's what throws me off. That's what throws me off. So I'm like, well, you're saying DC. That's not really an adjective, is it?
No, he was put on the spot.
Association. It doesn't have to be an adjective. It could
be but I don't know. I don't know what that means though. Like,
he knows he's from
has a verb or an adjective.
He knows he's from DC. Maybe he's not gonna, like he said. He realized I can't say shit. I gotta keep these neutral.
He's very DC?
I think that was a Freudian slip. Now that doesn't mean we're going to get Caleb, but it means that if Caleb's available, he's going to get him.
Yeah. I think most people.
Let me put it this way. If the Bears draft Marvin Harrison Jr., which is a possibility, right? You have all 3 of these quarterbacks in the draft. I think that this indicates that his number 1 right now is Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams is probably the guy. But I think Daniel, I really would like Daniels, man. I'm telling you, I think if they all 3 had a throne, I think Daniels would have beat them all out in the combine. Don't mean he would still go number 1, but I think Daniels was probably going to look the best out of all of them, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm telling you, man. Todd is going to be right.
He's my discounted that. And like
he's my QB1 too, but
right now Jaden Daniels is my second choice at quarterback.
People don't like that he was a run first quarterback. They might
4,000 yards. 4,000 yards passing.
Doesn't matter. There is metrics out there that he was run first. He looked to run instead of going through progressions. If guys weren't wide open, he ran. I'm not saying these aren't my analytics. These are people who are saying this. These are the Dan Orlovskis. These are the people that are saying, yes, I know he had 4,000 yards.
Dan had him number 1, didn't he?
I don't know. I think he did, but I'm just saying these are some of the things that people are saying. John Petco on Facebook, thank you for joining us. He said the Foggy Bottom Rats. He liked it.
John's my guy. John knows exactly where I got that reference from because he was with me when we were walking through Foggy Bottom and we saw a bunch of rats and they were bigger than chihuahuas.
Oh yeah, we got those at work.
They're huge.
hey, man,
it's huge.
We're putting the quarterback on a pedestal.
We are putting the quarterback on a pedestal. It is the most important position, but
it's the NFL draft. The quarterback always gets put on the pedestal.
Man, all I'm gonna tell everybody is you can name the first round. You can name the quarterbacks in the NFL that's won a Super Bowl on one hand. There's only like 4 or 5 of them in the whole entire league, and none of them were drafted number 1 except for Stafford. And Stafford took 12 years to get a playoff win.
It's mostly the.
Can I talk to our cowboy? Guy here. I say cowboy guy because he's wearing a cowboy hat. Talking about the name. He says it is important. You wasn't the one in the 70s, 80s, 90s up in RFK Stadium freezing your ass off. I was. Well, Chris, I'm sorry that my parents didn't meet at a younger age, get horny, fuck, and conceive me sooner. All right. But I was there through most of that time you mentioned. All right. Just because of the fact that I don't have a bunch of wrinkles in my skin and I look pretty doesn't mean that I'm not got some age and wisdom behind me, my good man. Because I am in my 40s, brother.
Phil sounds like
I did not earn this bald head. This bald head is dealing with hair loss with dignity. It's not.
I would like a dome though.
Despite my advancing age, I am still chunky and beautiful. But I was there through a lot of that time, just like you were.
Yeah. And eventually, you kind of have to market yourself to the next generation because that older generation is slowly disappearing. As much as I hate to say it,
they're on Social Security. They can't afford.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of strategic where you want to incorporate things from the past legacy. The hogs, the colors, the traditions they're trying to do. That I think they just did a bad job of it. So who knows? Like I don't want to have this argument. We can talk about this for days, but yeah. Thomas Mills said, I don't think he said DC because of interest with us. I think he was just on the spot. I believe Jaden's our guy, completely irrelevant to what Dan said.
No, I really don't.
Could you come up with a reason why he would say DC then? I'm just trying to that word or that
clearly he knows Caleb is from this area. At least we know that, right? Which means he's probably doing a little bit of studying, a little bit of reading. So he knows Caleb has ties to the DC area. So if nothing else, we know that. I think that's that's as far as I can look into it without, speculating any further.
They got us being the favorites to get Ladarius Sneed also.
Old Sneed from the Chiefs. That would be nice. He'd be a good
Ladarius Sneed.
Yeah, Ladarius Sneed from the Chiefs.
Oh, he's from young
quarterbacks. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the top 5 corners.
I'm thinking Willie Sneed, wide receiver.
Yep. Marcus said, Todd, if Daniels is drafted to the Bears, I'm gonna get you a Bears jersey. Yes. Chris said, I texted Steven asking why they wouldn't go back with another rookie quarterback. Sam's got 2 years under his belt, drafting a line around. So Chris and I do have a DM going. Like I said, and I think Dev said it too. There is a scenario where this could happen.
Yeah.
And I not that it's my preferred scenario, but I've seen enough highlight tapes to see.
I can be talked into it.
Exactly, Dev. A little bit of Marvin Harrison Jr. action, maybe some Fashanu trade back in the first round.
I even see that in us picking up Russ. Russ is going to play for somebody for the league minimum, dog, because he's going to get paid the same no matter what. No matter what. Like if they offer him $10 million, all that's doing is making Denver pay him everything but $10 million, dog. So he can play for $500,000, whatever the veteran minimum is. He can play for whatever that is, and Denver's paying the whole thing but that, dog. Up to $39 million or $49 million, dog. So man, I'm not the biggest Russ fan. I don't think Russ is a bum. I think Kirk's better. But you could, if Russ came here for the league minimal, because he was still, like I said, get $45 million from Denver. If he came for the league minimal, we pick Marvin Harrison, dog. I wouldn't be mad.
I'm really not on that train. Although, look,
Marvin Harrison's the best player in the draft, bro. And we haven't had one player at a skill position that we've been scared of since Sean Taylor, bro.
None.
Not one. You can't name one team that we played all year that we have a better player. There's times we've had the best team, but we've never had the best player. Look at the Giants for an example. We play them every year. We got a better team than them, but they win because they got the best player on the field.
RG3, we had the best player. We had the guy that
did they have Saquon Barkley then?
No, that was way too early.
All right, I don't know who they had then. I'm talking
Saquon
about,
didn't come here till like 27.
I don't remember who they had in 2012. They have Eli Manning in 2012.
Yeah, but he wasn't the best player. Eli Manning's not a good quarterback, dude.
Eli Manning was still better than everybody we had.
Well, quarterback wise, everyone.
Right. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
The number one player on the team, though, we never have him. I don't care if we're playing Arizona. We ain't got Kyler Murray. We ain't got Buda Baker. I don't care who we play against. Who's the team picking first? The Bears, they kicked our ass. They had a better player than us. Phil was the best player on the field.
Yeah, he was at that time. Yep.
I'm saying to you, man, you can't tell me. I wouldn't be mad if they picked Marvin Harrison Jr. He'd be the best player on the field, the team.
Yeah.
Philip Bullock says it's his first time here. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for tuning in. You can always slip over to YouTube, and I just posted the link in the chat. Or Philip, if you want to click that link at the top of the post and allow StreamYard to get your name, so we can give you credit here in the stream. Let's do that. Ryan said Marvin Harrison at 2, Penix in the second.
I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah,
I like Penix.
Penix ain't gonna last in the second though.
No, if Penix was my target, I'd jump back into the first just to get that 5th year. Even if you're not going to use him in the first year, get that 5th year, like Ravens did with Lamar. You got to do it. That 5th year is invaluable. Todd says Jaden is the next CJ Stroud. Maybe remains to be seen. Marcus said Dan Orlovsky on Get Up said he wouldn't be surprised if the Bears would draft Daniels number 1 overall.
I would be surprised because they could probably trade and get him at number 2. You know, like. Look, man, if they say, well, we like Jaden Daniels more, just don't say that, and they could probably trade down to 2 and still get Jaden Daniels, bro. Keeping it 100 with y'all. I don't think more than one team is going to see Jaden as better. Look, man, I get Jaden Daniels had a way better last season than Caleb. I'm not going to lie to you, bro, but Caleb has been one of the best players in college football for 3 years straight. Now, that says something to me. It ain't like he's just because this season Daniels had a better year. I've saw this guy – Caleb probably be a top 5 draft pick for 3 straight years in college, bro.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me because a guy had a better year than him 1 year that all of a sudden that guy's better than him. I'm going Caleb number 1, period. If I get number 1, if I get a chance at him, dog. But after that, man, I'm going with Caleb. I'm going with your boy, Jaden Daniels or Marvin Harrison. They're the best. I think they're probably the best 2 players in the draft, like 3 players in the draft, rather.
Yeah. And we're going to talk more quarterbacks here in a second.
I think Bowen. I think the tight end is probably in my top 5 as far as players in the draft. I just wouldn't take him at 2.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Marcus says Russell's going to go to the Steelers. I'm with Todd. I think Fields will go either to the Steelers or to the Falcons. I think he's going to go to the Falcons.
I think
just because
they got to trade for him, but Russ ain't got to trade for it. Russ can go anywhere he wants, man. Like if he wants to come home, he could come here for $550,000, bro.
He's a Virginia boy by trade.
I'm not saying I do it. That would be one of my top 3 to 5 options.
Yeah. Marcus says Deebo Samuel is one of the best players, and he was picked in the 2nd round.
Man, no quarterback was in the pick of the first pick.
I have to question this. The first thing you said. Taking the DB from Iowa in the 1st round.
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean is not a top 5 pick, let alone number 2.
He's the 1st round pick, but I think towards the end of the first round.
He is not. I'm not drafting him number 2.
Dose.
You could probably drop back to like 15 and
I ain't picking nobody. I ain't picking nobody at number 2 than a quarterback or a Harrison.
Okay.
Yes.
Basically, that's 2 or 3 quarterbacks and Harrison I pick at number 2. No one else needs it. I have to trade down to get anyone else, or I'm gonna cuss everybody out.
I would take Jaden Daniels way before Cooper DeJean.
I would take.
Like I said, I've honestly said I have.
I would take Drake May over him. I'd take Bowers over him. I'd take Harrison over him. Stop.
So just for context here, the NFL Players Association did a vote of different things surrounding the league. So they basically gave teams report cards, and the Commanders finished pretty much last overall. This is the 2nd annual report cards for teams. And for the audio crowd and those who are going to watch this on the replay or listen to this on the audio podcast, which is available on any of your audio podcast streaming platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Odyssey, all the good ones were on there. Please check us out. Treatment of facilities, F-. Treatment of families, F-, 31st. I don't even know what that means. treatment of families. What I think it means is there's no family rooms in some stadiums, which I've heard other stadiums have family rooms. Families don't get to travel with the team, which I've heard other teams let families travel. They have a family
I feel like that's
plane.
a distraction.
It could be, but I'm just telling you, I think this is what they mean for treatment of families. I don't know. I just know that there's like the Lions have a family plane. Why? Because I know someone who works for the Lions and they have a family plane where the family can travel with the team. So just saying, these are some of the things that are out there. Food and cafeteria, D+, which is 27th. Okay. Get a better chef. Nutrition, dietitian, B-, which is 21st, not too bad. Locker room, F-, 32nd. Training room, F-, 32nd. Now, Phil, you were just there a couple weeks ago. If you haven't watched it, please go watch Phil's vlog that he did. He took a personalized behind-the-scenes tour of FedEx Field. So, Phil, locker room, training room, F-. I don't know how many NFL locker rooms you've been in, but give us your take.
I know why, and it's not because it's bad. It's just that the stadium's older.
Yeah.
And so what it is, it's smaller and it doesn't have okay. Geez,
what year is our stadium for context?
Todd Samuel's going to love what I'm about to say.
What year is our stadium? Do you remember? Is it 99?
98, 97 was when it was open.
97. Okay, there's your context right there.
All right. For 1997, it's a perfectly good locker room. But they don't. Have you ever seen LSU's locker room?
No.
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up because
I have though.
Oh no, I got a picture right here, Phil.
I got it too.
Holy smokes. There's like first class lounge chairs.
Yeah. That's what they're comparing it to.
Should I share it?
Yeah, share it.
All right, here we go. We are about to share LSU's first class locker rooms.
This is what they're comparing it to. Right?
Yeah.
That looks kind of standard.
Not
standard.
These chairs,
they got cubby holes with fucking drawers under them and lockers on top.
Look at the seats and everything. What we have in our dressing room in our locker room is a standard locker room. All right. It's not. It doesn't look like this. Right now, what we have, what it is, it's not that the facility, that the locker room is bad. It's that the locker room is dated, right, compared to this, and that's because we went so many years under Dan Snyder. There was no upgrades. The training room,
no investment in your.
And the other thing, the problem with the training room was apparently the fact that they felt that it was small, and actually that training room reference was actually in reference to what's now Commander's Park, right? That's in reference to when they need to get healed, need to get treatment for injuries during the week. They were having to wait because there's not enough space. Now we'll say this: Commander's Park, formerly Redskins Park, is an outdated facility. It was state of the art in the 80s. It's not now. It has gone to. It is in a really bad state. That facility needs an entire overhaul.
Yeah,
and that when they talk about poor training room facilities, because I went and did a little research on this, that's what they're referring to is at Commander's Park, not at the stadium, right? Because the stadium training room is for game day purposes. It's not for continual treatment of injuries.
Right. Yep. Chris says, I tell you, this free agents out there this year's just as good as a draft. And one of them, Parsons, he likes to be coached by Quinn. Parsons is not a free agent.
No,
Dallas is
Parsons is not a free agent for 2 more years.
Yeah.
He's under contract. Well, let me phrase this. He's under contract 2024. He will be under contract 2025 if that 5th-year option is picked up,
and it will
by
be.
the Cowboys.
It will be, and then they'll tag him 2 times.
And they will pick it up.
Yeah.
So it's 2 more years before Parsons available.
Yeah,
and he'll be tagged then.
Yeah. So. Philip, I gave you the link to either jump to YouTube or hit the link at the top of this post streamer so we can see your name. And I think Marcus says it, right. Don't pay attention to this work hard because these are new ownership. These are all Dan Snyder grades. I think that's a fair way to say it. This team has invested $75 million and they haven't owned the team for a year yet.
And by the way,
not even a year, 75 million.
Because Ryan Elias brought this up, apparently they had a sewage issue in the locker room. I specifically heard from my contact at the Commanders that one of the things that they are spending money on is completely redoing all the water pipes and the sewage pipes and everything in the stadium.
Yeah.
If they got to beat the stadium past 2027, you should be happy they're making this investment. Some people are mad. That money should go towards a new stadium. Well, new stadium's not going to happen tomorrow. All right?
True.
So let's make the current stadium as good as it could be.
Yeah.
And by the way, you don't bring back ping pong until you win, because ping pong is for winners.
Reward. Continuing down the grades, training staff is an F, 31st. Training room F. We talked about these with you too, Phil. Training staff F, 31st. Weight room C, 25th. Strength coaches A, 5th. One of the crazy themes, even through every regime, even when we were at our worst and our darkest Jay Gruden days, our strength staff, and I made fun of it, and I'm probably a bad person for doing this, we got the top strength training team award, whatever that award was, one of the years during Jay Gruden's tenure. And we were ranked top 5 almost every year. So this is kind of not surprising, although I still want to understand why. Our strength coaches, and they've continued to last through the regimes. A lot of the head trainers, even going back to like Bubba Tyer, if you remember the Bubba Tyer days.
Bubba Tyer was a god.
Yeah, and they're probably all legacies of Bubba Tyer. And these strength coaches just stay. So we have an A. We have a 5th overall grade for strength coaches.
Man, I would stay too. I get paid to sit around a weight room all day.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Team travel F, 31st. Head coach C, 31st. I think this was a Ron Rivera grade. And ownership B, 18th. I'm not sure if this was a blend of Josh Harris and Dan or just Dan, but these are the NFL Players Association grades that we were given based on the 2022 season. Kind of funny, but it's not surprising. But that it is what it is. So yeah, overall, we didn't do so hot. That's the key to all of this. Make sense?
Yep.
All right, makes sense. The next thing, Peter's on quarterbacks. If you paid attention, you our GM Adam Peters. He made a couple comments. I am going to bring up one tweet that just kind of expands on what he said. I'll let you be the judge. Take it for what it's worth. You can.
Are we going to play the whole thing or just the one part people jump on?
I don't know. I will allow you guys to figure that out for yourself. It's 44 seconds. Here we go.
Rock. He was always composed. He was always like he is now. He's the same guy every day. And really, his tape.
This is about Sam Howell, by the way.
You meet the person, but this is only just a little bit part of the process. But his tape and everything that he did at Iowa State and how well he played and how well he played in the position.
That's Cooper DeJean.
He could really fit in well with our team. And if we thought he was that good, we probably wouldn't have waited until the last pick. But we like
Brock Purdy.
We talking Purdy.
Now
I
got to find a new quarterback. That's the statement I want to hone in on. Okay, he was talking about Brock Purdy being part of 49ers. Listen to the last 5 seconds again.
What do you try to get out of the combine?
I'm sorry. What was the beginning of that? Brock mentioned. Now I got to find a new quarterback.
Now we got to find a new quarterback. That's what he ends his discussion about when they were trying to talk about what was the thought process about getting Brock Purdy. He said, if we knew how good he was, we would have drafted him way earlier. And he ends that statement with, now we got to get a new quarterback. Is that indications that I took that as, okay, the Sam Howell move is out. But we know at these things, nothing is what it appears to be. So what do you guys make of his last statement of, now I got to find a new quarterback? Because he said it. You can't refute the fact that he said it. Phil, chat, What do you think?
I know what a lot of people hold in on, but there's a lot more to that because he also spent a lot of that thing praising the crap out of Sam Howell. I think that was more of a reference of I got to find my next franchise guy. He didn't say where. It's just that he has to find that guy. Now, whether they look back at Sam Howell, and say we can make him into that guy, whether they say we can't, we're going to go in a new direction. Whether they say, hey, there's a free agent out there we're going to get, and that's going to be the guy. He's saying that he has to find a new quarterback.
Balls.
Wherever they can find it.
Sorry, Phil. Meant to give you the bell. I'm sorry. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I don't say it. Now, I've said this. It's probably going to be a quarterback. I like Sam. I think Sam can be developed into a solid star in the NFL. But it may not be here that it happens. And the reason why I say that is because new coaching staff, they're going to want, the only reason I actually say that still is a possibility because they kept Tavita Pritchard. They kept the same quarterback coach.
They kept the same quarterback coach.
Which is just a little bit of an odd move. But that's why I'm like, maybe they see something. But I think that's more of a statement of whoever we have at quarterback has to be our version of Brock Purdy. It has to be our guy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep. Marcus said Josh Ayers also remodeling Commanders Park. They are. They're going to remodel, and they also said in the same breath that they can build a new Commanders Park near a new stadium very quickly. It will take no time at all to pull up a practice facility. It's a stadium that's going to take years to build. So if RFK is that stadium, you can expect they're probably going to build a practice facility very close nearby once that land gets cleared. But yeah, thank you for joining us. It's great googly muggly. This ain't Baton Rouge.
Oh no, not googly muggly.
That's worst time. Monty Montez, make sure to hit that StreamYard link at the top, bro, and so we can give you credit for being on the stream, or flip over to YouTube. I'll post the link in the Facebook chat there. Says, where's Sam going to be? I don't know if Phil's on this board, but Dev and I are on the train that if you know for a fact you're going to draft a quarterback at 2, why not move Sam Howell for whatever you can get that's less, higher than a 5th round pick that you've already returned on your investment? Or do you keep Sam as an insurance policy to hold you over? But we're not in a win now. So that's why I don't feel like Sam's an insurance policy. Either you're rolling with him or you're rolling with him, or you're not. Yeah. So that's kind of how I think we all feel. And Yam says, I think we're going to go quarterback at 2. Tia, I know Tia's a big Sam Howell fan. Says he's going to draft the quarterback. Sam is staying in Washington. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I bought his jersey. The last 2 jerseys I bought, Darius Geis and Josh Norman. Look how that worked out. And then I believed in Sam Howell, and I bought a Sam Howell jersey. I kind of hope he stays because that would be 0 for 3 on jersey. That's why I don't buy jerseys, because it just of course, Todd says it means he's drafting Jaden Daniels right on time.
There's a good chance that happens, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
Ryan says 300% agree.
Don't draft him because certain parts of the fan base just want hype. Draft him because you believe that's the guy.
Yeah.
Don't draft him because certain fans are LSU fans.
Right. Todd says Josh Harris is being a quarterback because he knows Sam is garbage. Sam is not garbage. Sam outplayed the first overall pick in the NFL draft. So you're telling me Bryce Young is garbage? Go on record and say Bryce Young is garbage, because Sam, as a 5th round pick, outperformed Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick, and everyone else was a pick before him. So if you're saying Sam is garbage, that means Bryce Young is garbage. That means Bryce Young's a bust. Because Sam, the only categories he beat Sam in was Sam had him was interceptions. Sack rate, higher. Justin Fields' sack rate, higher. Bryce Young's sack rate, higher. Bryce Young had 62 sacks. Sam Howell had 65. And Sam Howell threw for almost 200 more times than Bryce Young. So these are hard arguments that you're trying to make, Todd. I know where you're going with this. There's been a lot of buzz around. You guys know Merrill Hodge, right? The former Steeler running back who's an analyst.
Didn't he have a stroke or some shit before too, though?
I don't know.
He's got bad CTE because he ran like an idiot, and he's probably the most overrated,
he has some
beloved figure in NFL history.
He was good on Tecmo Bowl. I know that, number 33. But this is what he said. He is a very anti-Drake May guy. For the audio crowd, to my boy running the NFL Draft Files Twitter account. Might have to have him on sometime. Says NFL analyst Merrill Hodge says he wouldn't draft Drake May in the first round. He's extremely inconsistent. His processing is inconsistent. He's not extremely athletic, and I find him more stiff. He's got a longer throwing motion, which allows more picks. And of course, you take the good with the bad. I appreciate the NFL Draft Files goes on to say, mind you, this is the guy that also had Jacob Eason at QB2 and Justin Herbert at QB5. So it's safe to say that he has no idea what he's talking about. That's the problem with this draft. It's a crapshoot. Look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the same age at 24 years old. Jaden Daniels coming out 24. Lamar Jackson already had 2 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, and an MVP at the same age as what Jaden Daniels is right now. So don't tell me people can evaluate quarter. It's a crapshoot. It's truly a crapshoot. There's no methodology. There's no formula. You're going to hit or you're not going to hit. So that's why I hate when people compare Jaden Daniels to Lamar Jackson. There's only one Lamar Jackson, and Jaden Daniels ain't Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Might be better. You never know.
I don't know. Jaden Daniels is my QB1, but he has no Lamar Jackson. I don't think he has the arm strength Lamar Jackson has, but not even close. Lamar Jackson can fling that ball like
Lamar Jackson is also a lot shiftier in terms of his ability to avoid horrible contact.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels runs into getting his ass kicked a lot.
And since we're talking about quarterbacks, okay, this was proposed today on if you follow Warren Sharp on Twitter. This is what projected it. They think it would cost for the Commanders if they really want Caleb Williams to move up in that draft. So for the first overall pick, I don't know if you can see it, and I apologize if you can't. This year's second overall pick. So we'd swap first and second picks. This year's third round pick. This year's 5th round pick, and next year's 1st round pick. Would you do that to move up for Caleb Williams, Dev? Swap ones, a 3rd and a 5th this year, and a 1st next year.
Nope.
No. Okay.
No.
Phil, would you?
Juice ain't worth squeezing. No.
I am with you. I would not. We have way too many holes on this team to give up any sort of picks to move up one spot. I think any of these 3 quarterbacks could probably be potential future if put in the right position and built around their strengths without giving any up draft capital. So yeah, I just wanted to show that is something I saw. I thought it was very interesting. Marcus said Todd Samuel reminds me of those on 2.5 Men about Jaden Daniels, but the Jets are trading Zach Wilson and interested in Sam Howell. That is true. They are interested in Sam Howell. They are. Yam says the draft Jaden Daniels 5 and all the repeated daily posts about him need to stop or at least cut back on it. Yes, Yam is not a fan of Todd spamming Jaden Daniels. Sorry, we got Sam Howell on the mind. AG joining us from YouTube said Daniels is a better pocket passer than Jackson. Is he though? Don't get fooled about the yardage. Is he a better pocket passer? Because I'm almost positive I have some metrics here on Jaden Daniels that he goes through one read. Actually, you know who statistically his stats compare to? Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, but
in college.
This guy has been called like there's people that say Jaden Daniels is the best pocket passer in the draft.
Hey, he's still my QB1. I think he has the highest ceiling out of all of them. So
yeah.
A lot of guys have high ceilings.
Yeah, a lot of guys have high ceilings, but can you achieve that ceiling? That's the thing, right? That's why I think and people are still concerned about his weight. I don't know if he's going to measure at the combine.
He's the same. He's the same size. He's the same size that Lamar Jackson was when he
Lamar Jackson. No, he weighs more than Lamar Jackson. I believe Lamar Jackson was even thinner than Jaden Daniels coming out. I think Jaden Daniels 205. I think Lamar was like 198, 199. But Lamar has put on since 25, 30 pounds. So he's sitting nicely at like 220, whatever his weight is now. So that's the problem. So listen to this. There's only been 5 quarterbacks under 205, right? You know what? I'm just gonna put this on the screen. This is a funny statistic for you guys to read if you want to read it. But this is on about Jaden Daniels, or not about Jaden Daniels. This is about his weight that people are concerned about. So since 2000, there's only been 5 NFL quarterbacks under Jaden Daniels' weight of 205 pounds to have a single seating start in 14 or more games. Not even including a statistical threshold here, just straight up start 14 or more games. Aaron Brooks, Kirk Cousins, Doug Flutie, Jeff Garcia, and Bryce Young are the only first-round picks to weigh less than Jaden Daniels and to start 14 games. So I'm saying there's so much data out there that you can talk about, you can not talk about. It's just you can make an argument for a positive and a con for every person in this fucking draft. That's what at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Todd says 6 foot quarterbacks are not generational. Stop it. That's true. 6 foot quarterbacks are not generational, but they can be serviceable, I guess. Look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees had a fantastic career. He was 6 foot. So you can't just rule it out. AG from YouTube said flip picks with New England and pick the last guy available, no pressure. If they like all 3 of these guys, why not? If you could say Adam Peters, I'm happy with Caleb, with Drake, or Jaden. We can perform on all these guys and let New England give you some more picks to get. I mean, why? Why not? I don't know. Deluxe says Washington already has a 5 and a 13. They don't have a 10. That's true. Phil Sims says, watch Phil Sims break down. Jaden goes through his progressions. Yes. Ryan Elias
is also a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he has some CTE himself.
Yeah, Hodge had some hits to the brain, dog. He got to retire from brain injury. I don't know if I.
Yeah, Ryan Elias is on the Michael Penix train. He said Penix trade back to 1. So that's if you're gonna get Penix, go back in the first round and get that 5th year. Brandon Cole, what's up, Brandon? Says I'm not saying build around Sam because that'll be a bust. I'm just saying we got to be patient because as close to the bottom as we hit, it'll take at least a couple of years to be where we need to be.
Man,
Patience.
I'll go Russ or Kirk and then pick up Marvin Harrison. I'll still be happy. You still got 2 first, second round picks.
Yeah, you got 2 2s and 2 3s.
Yeah, you could pick up Penix and then let him sit a year if you think he's not ready, or you're somebody else, or somebody else. I mean, you can pick a lineman, however you want to do it, man. There's a lot of quarterbacks in free agency. Baker Mayfield's also a choice, though.
Yeah. Todd, Chase Daniel said, Chase Daniel broke down Jaden as going through progressions. Listen, Todd, Chase Daniels is my QB1, but at least with the quarterbacks, I can acknowledge their faults too. You seem to acknowledge no faults of Jaden's. He's not perfect. He has flaws. They all have flaws. That's all I'm saying. I think that's the difference between you and I is you think Jaden has zero flaws.
Todd's going to keep hard for the guy because it's an LSU guy. All right.
I think there's flaws in all their games.
That's like, he probably believed that Rohan Davey should have been a number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, that's true. This is from I don't know his current position, but I'll probably tell you here in a second. This guy's at the combine. He's an insider, or whatever you want to call an insider, air quotes. Based off his intel, he says Bears are going Caleb, Commanders are going Drake, and Patriots are going Jaden Daniels. Cardinals would then be open for business to move out of the number 4 spot. Now, this is just one man's opinion. Jeff Howe is his name. This is something else. So the Drake May to Justin Herbert comp is pretty good. It's going to be too hard for me to flash these numbers together, but You can look at these numbers. They show Drake May's numbers, and they show Herbert's numbers, and they're pretty much identical. This is why I said when they did passing comparisons that Marcus Mariota's passing lined exactly with Jaden Daniels. Kurt Benkert, former Packers quarterback. This is his pre-combine quarterback rankings. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr. He has Bo Nix.
Where we get people get this idea that JJ McCarthy's anything worth.
People are starting to slowly come on the JJ McCarthy train, and I just don't.
He didn't pass enough for me.
He didn't. He did what he was, what was required of him. But
I think that Daniels reminds me of more RG3. RG3 threw a little more than him, but he passed about the same amount of yards. I think also the thing Jaden Daniels has over May is that Jaden Daniels done it. Everybody he played against it was way better superiorly as competition. He shined in, even though they got their ass beat sometimes. He was always good in every one of those games. It didn't like he lost. And you see Drake May, he kind of got smaller against the big games they had.
My problem with Jaden Daniels is he reminds me of RG3 in the fact that he has zero shiftiness as a runner. He takes stupid big hits.
I think he's a little more shifty than RG3 though.
He just learn to slide.
Stupid big hits because he has a lack of field awareness when he's running.
But he does have a little more left and right and getting by those. He shakes dudes left and right too.
He doesn't have the vision for it.
I think his running is more Lamar than Robert. But he doesn't have the top end speed. Like Robert had the 0 to 60 speed. He could take off straight line fast, but he wasn't really shaking nobody. Lamar's fast and quick. That's a problem. Like,
you're talking about Lamar? Yeah. See, Lamar is not Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
he's better than Jaden Daniels as a runner.
Yeah. He's faster. He's fast and quick, man. And that's the thing. That's guys like him and Tariq Evans. There's not a lot of those guys that are both fast and quick. Usually somebody's it's one or the other, but there's a handful of guys that are both.
People always talk about if you're not accurate in college, you're never going to be accurate in the NFL. And I can see that. If you never slide in college, will you ever slide in the NFL?
For sure.
Will you?
Yeah, look at Lamar, man.
Lamar never slid in college? I don't know. I'm asking this question.
He was truck sticking people and everything. He just run over dudes. So he's trying to run over dudes.
Jaden slides 0 times. If he's my QB1, I need him to learn that.
But he also doesn't miss games. He doesn't really leave games very often either.
It was surprising because he takes monster hits that he brings on himself.
If you take enough of those monster hits, you can leave a career.
But that's college. Yeah. You can't take those hits in the NFL.
Anyway,
we're talking some
harder in the pros.
Yeah,
Marcus. I think you can.
And honestly, it's that propensity is why I'm like I can't put him over Caleb Williams in all good honesty. I can't.
I can't put him over Caleb Williams because I've seen 3.5 years of football of Caleb Williams being a top.
I'd be happy with that.
No, you haven't. You've seen 1.5.
Nah, he's been one of the top quarterbacks in all his years he's played, though.
Yeah.
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's no.
Marcus says that's why when people are saying
I understand it because it's most likely we're going to get him, so you want to talk yourself into it.
Nah, he's been one of the better quarterbacks.
His flaws.
He has flaws. All of them have flaws. But I'm saying, every year he's played a starting quarterback in college. He's been one of the quarterbacks everybody talks about as one of the best players in college every year.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, he wasn't. No one talked about him until the end of his junior or end of last year, and then his
Caleb.
Season.
Caleb.
Oh no, I'm talking about Jaden. My bad.
I'm talking about Caleb. Yeah, I'm talking about Caleb. Yeah.
So Jaden peaked at his 5th year at LSU.
Yeah.
Drake May only had two seasons. So people are like the argument, or people are saying, and I can get it because I'm objective. Drake May hasn't even peaked yet. Jaden Daniels might have not peaked, but we've seen the best of Jaden Daniels. We never saw the best of Drake May because he only started for 2 years.
I think Drake May might be better quicker. Like I've always thought.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. One has a higher ceiling, one has a higher floor. I think that's what people are talking about.
I think Drake May might come out the like just like Hal came out the first 8 weeks. Man, it looked like got a guy here.
Yeah,
and then it falls off. I think you can see that. I wouldn't be mad if they drafted Drake May either. I just prefer. Yeah. I just think that I would rather swing for the fences and go after a guy who has a chance to be an MVP caliber player. His talent will project him that.
He also has a much better chance of being an absolute bag of shit.
Yes. That is definitely the yin and the yang about this guy. That's definitely the risk you take. He absolutely could end up being a turd. Same thing as Anthony Richardson with the Colts, man. That guy could end up being the best player in the NFL or a turd.
Yeah, but he has no tape on it. That dude has like 7 games of college tape, and
man,
that's good enough for me.
That dude throws he's like Kaepernick. He throws like a fastball every time,
dude,
man.
That dude could be Cam Newton 2.0, man, if all the things line up. Marcus says that's why when people were saying Sam Howell's a bust, I don't have a clue. It's his first year starting. He can thrive somewhere else if he gets traded. That's my thing. How can you evaluate someone with 17 games and when you've played good for at least 8 of those 17 games?
At least half of me look like a starting quarterback.
He did.
So this is where you run into a little bit, the Daniels triggers RG3 PTSD.
That's it. That's
totally true. I see too much of RG3's running style in Jaden.
RG3
runs straight ahead. He's not like he's not elusive.
He has a little bit more wiggle than RG though. Like Daniels has a little more wiggle than RG3.
I don't remember Robert taking these sort of hits in college. I really don't.
Robert was a dog in college. People forget how great that guy was at Baylor, man. He was unbelievably special.
Yeah, but he was able to escape because he was able to hit that next.
Yeah, he had track speed, man. He was over it. Like, he had a hurdle. He had legit Olympic hurdle.
This right here, Todd. In the NFL, quarterbacks are protected more. Are you referring to offensive lines? Because we still got to build that too.
Well, they're protected more as far as with the rules, like that's what Todd's saying. But
I don't know. There's no targeting role in the NFL like there is in college.
I don't care if they about the penalty. I don't care about you getting hurt. There's plenty of players that'll take a 15-yard penalty to get a good look in on you.
Now, for the record,
you don't show this shit.
Jaden Daniels is my QB1. He is my QB1. But
watch this video on every podcast, bro.
You cannot take hits like this.
Hey, what up? Trav, what up?
You're gonna get a copyright infraction.
Yo, Boof, what up? It's big on that 2 MLPUA.
Phil loves it.
It's fucking hilarious.
K with it. Nice big club. Niggas know that we don't play with it.
He held on.
He ain't gonna walk him.
He held on to that bitch and got up, probably threw for 400 yards.
We saw that.
Yeah, but if Michael Parsons hits him like that, that dude's soul is going to leave this planet and end up in another dimension. Michael
Parsons put out of the league?
Jade's my QB1. I just can't have him taking hits like that in the NFL. He's got to learn how to slide. If you got to bring in a baseball guy like they talked about doing with Robert Griffin, bring in someone from baseball to teach him how to slide. Do it.
Come on, that video.
Don't care. Funny, it's funny. I know Phil loves it. I'm just saying. I'm objective. Jaden Daniels is still my QB1.
It sounds like every hype. It sounds like every hype video you see for a quarterback, and it's not. I like that. It's funny.
He definitely got.
Yeah. Props to the creator of that video. It was creative, and despite that, I still say Jaden Daniels is the number 2 quarterback for me in the draft, behind Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Despite that.
Yeah.
I just want to play with him in Madden because it'd be fun.
Yep. May said, Yam said, speaking of accurate, go back and watch some of the bullets and bombs May threw with the weak team around him this year. Sure, he passed up on open guys. He still hit plays regardless. So this is the argument. This is
passed up on open guys. That's my other bitch about him.
This is the argument about May. Like, he had 2 years. He was still coming into his own. All of a sudden, he declares for the draft. So, if he stays, he could become the next Heisman winner. And you're talking about him like you're talking about Caleb Williams. You're talking about Jaden Daniels this year, but he's choosing to leave. He's got the prototypical body. So I don't know. Marcus said Daniels left the Alabama game with a concussion. They got a hit for that for targeting. Although I would disagree, that was not targeting. That was a DB who laid him out. That was a college DB. Them dudes aren't that big either. So yes, we can argue all day about Caleb and Drake. Some like them, some don't. But all I'm saying is, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like button for us. We would greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on Facebook, flip on over to YouTube, if you would. Philip says, I just don't like quarterback from stacked teams. R.I.P. Haskins. Rip. RG3 got hurt in college as well. C.J. Stroud is the first Ohio State quarterback to ever make it.
Jaden Daniels comes from a stacked team. Now, granted, Joe Burrow came from a stacked team down at LSU, too.
I mean, Jaden Daniels has 2 first-round picks as wide receivers. That's what people hold against him. Kind of not fair, But you have 2 first-round wide receivers, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas.
One made the other, and you got to figure out the argument. Who made who? And if you say, well, they're all great, then they should have won a national championship, and they didn't even sniff that. So, obviously, somebody made somebody here.
Yeah, that's true. And you, like I said, you can argue about both of these guys all day long. You can argue about both of these guys.
I love it. I love that Yam just it has gone the route of me when it comes to talking about.
Todd says 543 yards a game for Jaden's offense. What did May do? Does May have any receivers that are going to be drafted? I don't know. It's a rhetorical question.
Who?
Are any UNC's receivers going to be drafted in this?
By the way, do you know what Todd Samuel's plan is to fix the offensive line?
Draft a bunch of LSU Tigers?
No. Yes, next year.
next year. Okay.
So Jaden Daniels has to play behind the same line that lets Sam Howell get hit sacked 65 times and survive until next year to get LSU linemen.
Yeah. AG says Harrison and Terry would make any quarterback look better. I agree, bro.
Hey, you're not wrong, AG.
Yeah. Yam says it's along the lines of, if it really takes that much convincing, is he truly that in a bag of chips? It just feels like a lot of hype and risk beyond simply all the draft picks that are hyped. Todd says May's a hyped up quarterback that did nothing. But remember, the draft is not necessarily about what you did. It's about what you
think you can do.
Exactly. What you're going to do at the next level. So if you have things that are attributes that you can't teach, like 6'4", you can't teach 6'4". Drake May 6'4". I think Jaden Daniels 6'4". Caleb 6'0", 6'1" on a good day. You can't teach that stuff. So if they think that's enough to build around, I can't blame anyone for it. You know, William Lawrence, thanks for joining us. If I can call you Bill from YouTube, said, I want Caleb, but man, I want my draft capital too. Shaking my head. This is hard as fuck. Yes, it is hard, bro. It is hard. And I'm just glad I'm not the GM of the Washington Commanders, because there's a billion things you could do. There's a bunch of different scenarios you can do to make this draft how you want it. We don't know if Adam Peters is going to take the San Francisco formula as Dev disappears, or is he just going to do his own thing? And is he going to find him his Brock Purdy? We don't know. We don't know what he's going to do. We're just here for the ride, but you got to have faith. You got to trust that Adam Peters is going to take us to the promised land, because it is better than what we have been. And then the Martys aren't in charge anymore. That's the thing. They're still here. Both Martys are still here, which is crazy, by the way. But they ain't running the shit no more. They are, air quotes, advisors to Adam Peters. And I think they're not going anywhere because they're kind of in favor with the new regime, apparently. I did not see that coming. I thought both Martys would be kicked to the curb, but they're still here. They're still here. Marcus says Drake May got a new OC this year, and I have Caleb Williams 1, Drake May 2, and Jaden Daniels. Oh, Drake May Daniels 2. Okay. Yam says, hyped up, motherfucker. A year ago, Jaden Daniels was projected a 2nd to 4th round pick. It wasn't even until January people said he was a 10th to 12th position pick, much less of even a 1st or worth a 2. So Yam and Todd are going at it in the chat. You know, I would say round 1 fight if this was Street Fighter, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put on this music and kick us in the free-for-all mode, because we are in free-for-all mode.
They're still going at it.
I like Jonnu at tight end. He's
Jonnu Smith is a tight end. That's right. We could either restructure Logan Thomas to significantly reduce his cap hit. Right?
You can cut him. You can cut Logan Thomas. Say it, Steve.
I'm trying to find ways to keep Logan Thomas. Yeah. But listen, you could bring in Jonnu Smith and get rid of Logan Thomas. Yes, I acknowledge that. I just feel
Logan backup quarterback to Daniels.
Logan could be the backup tight end. John Bates is giving you what he's giving you, right?
Backup quarterback.
Hey, I'm all about bringing in Tyrod Taylor. Bring in Tyrod Taylor as a backup. I would love Tyrod.
Every time he goes somewhere, he actually gets to play. I don't want that curse.
That's true. He ends up being fairly decent.
Yep.
And then he gets hurt.
Every time, dog. I don't want that dude.
Someone pokes him in the ribs with needles.
That's the only reason Justin Herbert became a starter, because the team doctor punctured his lung with a shot.
No, he got hit by who's got hit by the team by one of the carts? Was that him that got hit by the cart?
No, Tyrod Taylor was getting treatment, and they were injecting like a cortisone shot, but they punctured one of his lungs. He had like a bruised rib. They punctured his lung.
By a cart and fucked their career up, man. Got hit by a goddamn golf cart on the sideline and ruined their career. I forgot who the fuck it was, man. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. I don't know.
I ordered some Yeezy pods. By the way, right now, if you go to Yeezy.com, he has everything that is Yeezy for $20.
Yeah.
So you can get your family.
I don't usually buy Yeezy, but that $20, $20 is $20.
Right. I went on there and got some shit just to say I had it.
Todd says Drake made a typical bust underachiever in college that was drafted higher than his production and flames out, aka the next Sam Darnold. Tall, big quarterback that wasn't good and will be a backup.
Oh, so you want to get
I believe it's Sam Darnold.
Hold on. But you can say that about Jaden Daniels.
You can say
that about all of them.
He's the next. He can say he's the next Trey Lance.
That's why it's flawed logic. That's why you can't. You can't say that.
Trey Lance with the South Dakota, bro.
South Dakota State.
Right. He can't say that. He can't be the next Trey Lance.
Yeah. AG says Harrison will be the pick if quarterback lower on the list look good.
You can say he's the next Dwayne Haskins. Then I mean,
hey, Harrison Penix. I'd be down with that combo.
I'd be down with that too. I do like
down with that combo. Did you see the picture of Penix throwing the ball in the hotel? Oh, he's got some darts, man.
Yeah, that thing hums, man.
Yam says I bring facts and you bring lies. Come on, man. I bet you console war.
Oh shit, they're going at it. Xbox.
Deluxe says Mayhew's here long term. Hurdy may just be here to the draft. I agree. I think Martin Mayhew is going to stay, and I think because he has connections to San Francisco through Adam Peters, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember that correctly. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. There's Drake May is Sam Darnold. Really?
It could be Browning Nagel.
Hey, he played for the Bengals. For the Bengals. Todd says, "Did you see the combine for Chop Robinson?" Yes, Phil. You had some combine stuff up. I think Chop had some, and Darius Robinson too.
Chop Robinson. I'm telling you, this is the guy, right?
What did
Penn State.
Let me pull this up because Chop Robinson absolutely wrecked shop at the combine. He put up. Let me get down here. Say, listen, he's an edge rusher. He had a 4.49 40. Of 34.5-inch vert, broad jump of 10.8. He ran the 20 the shuttle at 4.25, the 10 shuttle and 1.54. Yeah, you cannot. You told us you could run. Hold on, you told us you could run a 4.4 40 if we gave you a month to.
6 weeks, I could.
So essentially, what you're saying, Phil, is Chop Robinson has worked his way into a first round draft because I think he was a second or third round pick, potentially, maybe second.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: Dallas Turner also and
I heard
Chris
Dallas
Roswell
Turner
also had a great day. Now, the actual best 40 time was someone ran a 4.43.
An alignment,
defensive end. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Montez Sweat.
No, it was not Montez.
John Ross. Yam says, Dev, come on, man. PC's the master race. PS5 guy. I'm a PS5 guy.
I don't know, but the defensive tackles, Chris Jenkins ran a 5-something his first run out. Then he got 4.91.
We got three Series X's in here, bro.
Darius Robinson. That dude's 6'5", 295. I think he ran a high 4 as well.
Darius
6'5".
Robinson.
Insanity, dude. 6'5", 295. That's like Shaquille O'Neal, man. It's insane. It's crazy. Not the height.
Like Shaquille's 7 foot.
He's probably like 350.
He's a defensive end, but he's a big defensive end. He's a true defensive end.
He's like LeBron James.
I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed because Marshawn Nealand from Western Michigan, who I kind of looked at as a sleeper mid-rounder, ran a 4.75. But then again, Adisa Isaac from Penn State, who is Chop Robinson's battery mate there on the end, ran a 4.74. But yeah, Chop Robinson looked really good. Dallas Turner from Alabama. He ran a 4.6, and he actually had a 10.7 broad jump. And he had listen to this. Dallas Turner had a 40.5-inch vert.
Oof.
That's ups, dude.
Yeah.
That is ups. I don't think
up.
anyone had a 40. I don't think anyone had beyond like a 36 vert. No, I'm sorry. One guy had a 37.5, but still, that's nothing. A 40-inch vert for a defensive end / linebacker is insane. But yeah, Chop Robinson though, he looked good. Looked real good.
Yeah.
Like I said, Chris Broswell and Dallas Turner, both Alabama defensive ends, ran 4.46. Probably why they feasted on Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Couldn't help myself. But yeah, I mean, they're fast guys, athletic guys, man. And now they did weigh-ins as well for these guys. And Chop, let me see if I can get down here because somebody had it listed in a different site.
While we're waiting, Deluxe says odds are 2 out of 3 quarterbacks are busts. Many will be right. I just hope Washington's right. 51% of all first-round draft picks are busts. 51, and it's even higher at quarterback. Just so you know.
Yeah.
So listen to this. Braden Fisk is a defensive tackle from Florida State. Ran a 4.7 8.40. A defensive tackle.
4.7.
I think they said somewhere on TV, on the internet, on the radio today that 18% or something like that of the first round picks are Pro Bowlers, which is a very low amount. So, like I said, all this we got to pick a quarterback this high. I'm like, dude, there's not any quarterbacks this high with Super Bowl except for Stafford. It took him 12 years to win a playoff game, bro.
Listen to this.
I'm going with the best player available personally. That's why I always said Harrison is the best player in the draft.
So listen to this. Braden Fisk is the first defensive tackle to lead his position group in the 40-yard dash, vertical jump, and broad jump since Tank Johnson in 2004.
What's his projection? Tank Johnson ended up not being that good though. He had 1 or 2 good
years.
But
he also leads all defensive tackles with an 89 athleticism score, pending shuttles and bench press. He is 6'3" and 5/8 and 292 pounds. And he ran a 4.7 8.40.
He's fast. Phil says, Phil says, give me your shirt. Purple rain.
Nah, man. It's mine.
Purple rain.
I got one of those too.
Clarify my last comment. Definitely one saying Sam is a bust. I'm a Sam fan. He'll do well elsewhere. I was just saying with all the options we have right now, while to be a bust to rely on him for our future. Yeah, I agree. Deluxe confirmed Mayhew has a history with Peters in San Francisco. Oh, and Newmark in Detroit. That's right. I forget Newmark's position. Is he our head scout? We brought over the guy. No, assistant GM from the Lions. That's right.
Did you hear about Devondre Sweat from Texas?
No.
Weighed in at 366 pounds.
Is that bad?
Had a 40-yard dash of 5.27, which is slow, but it's fast for a 366-pound man.
Yeah, sounds like it.
They said that his adjusted 40 time at his height and weight is like a 180-pound defensive back running a 4.26.
Yeah. No man should move that fast. He has no business moving that fast at 360.
And if that's a 40, that means he has crazy acceleration and explosiveness. So a guy coming off the line of scrimmage that fast would be fucking murder on an offensive guard. I guess it would be fucking murder on that guy. If he ever got leverage with one time, he's getting through every time with his leverage. That'd be something to look at.
Philip Bullock says, our problem is players don't want to be here in the first place. They get here and do very minimum on top of bad coaching, like go hard. Still get what you want faster, in my opinion. But Philip, I think these days are over, man. Like a new owner, new coach, like we have a new regime. When can we say we've ever had a new owner who's doing things right? So I think those days are in our past, bro. So while I'm with you and I agree, I think that's all going to be null and void. I mean, new facilities, $75 million into the team for reinvestment of the suites.
The ceiling.
Like Dan Snyder, he probably never put $75 million in his team the whole 20 years he owned the team. So I think we're on the up and up, man. I think we are.
There's a lot of interesting stuff here. We had Chop Robinson came at 6'2", 254 or something like that. A lot of these, defensive ends. came in around in the 250 range, which is kind of where you want to be, 250, 260.
Yeah.
They did not do bench press today, and that'll be interesting.
Yeah. True story. All right, we're going to shut this one down. We thank you for everyone who tuned into the chat, those who joined us early, those who joined us late. Thank you for the commentary. Thank you for carrying the episode along, as always. A lot of good things happened this week. FedEx Field is no longer our stadium name. Looking for a new sponsor. The team's out at the Combine. Pay attention this Saturday to see the quarterbacks who will throw. We're going to see Nix. We're going to see Daniels. We're going to see McCarthy. Those guys, all the second-tier guys. I'm sorry, the third-tier guys, because I believe it's Caleb, and then Jaden and Drake, and then tier 3. All the tier 3 guys are throwing this weekend. So the guys have something to prove. So pay attention. I think they throw on Saturday.
So I want to answer a question here. You want to know if Chop Robinson is the same size as Micah Parsons? All right. Chop Robinson is weighted. He's about 6'2" and change. And he's 254. All right. Mike Parsons is 6'3", 245. So Chop Robinson is actually about 10 pounds heavier and about half-inch shorter. Take that for what you will. But they also are very different players. Robinson's a definitive edge rusher as well. Like, he's a Chase Young, Montez Sweat guy. You put him at the end. And you just let him seal the edge on the run plays and rush the quarterback.
Yeah, not a mobile. He's like a legit.
We need a guy named Chop.
Why would you not want a guy named Chop, right?
Then again, we had a linebacker named Rocky, and that only turned out to have middling results.
And we had a kid on our little league team. His name was Pork Chop. He was a fat kid.
I'll just leave these Sam Howell highlights on as we get ready to close. Hey, some of these throws are big boy throws, man. Look at him shuffling the pocket. This was earlier in the season before EB decided to never change his offense again, before teams actually knew what was going on. Look at some of these throws he made, man. The position and the ball placement. This is why he got such rave the first 8 games of the season as a fifth. These are big boy throws, man. You have to give credit where credit's due if you're an objective person and not biased. Like these are spot on throws. These are pretty damn good, man. That's all I'm saying. This is why I, like you, Dev, I think there's a reason they could potentially, I don't know, kick the tires, keep him for another year. Not saying he's the starter, but he made some really good throws. That's all I want to say. That's it. I'm not gonna, continue to belabor this, but to say he's complete trash, I just can't do it. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Stamp this. Todd said Sam has an arm. I will give him that. Thank you, Todd. That's all we want. I'll give Todd the that's why we trade him for a third or fourth rounder. I wouldn't be against it. But yes,
I mean, if you trade a fifth rounder for a third rounder, you do have a net win.
You do have a net win. AG says, nice show, fellas. Thank you for tuning in, AG. I think this might be your first time kicking it with us, but for all the regulars, we love you guys. Thank you so much. The season's picking up here real soon. And I think we'll know, hopefully what's going on with Justin Fields is the first domino to fall. I think we kind of all signs pointing he's going to get traded. So yes, we will see what happens with the Combine. We'll be back next Thursday on another live stream to talk about the end results of the Combine and whatever else happens in the Commanders world between now and then. We did not expect to see FedEx Field take their name off the stadium, and we did not know that DC was going to vote on the naming rights the ownership rights for contracting and development for RFK was going to go back to the city of DC. So a lot of things happened last week. But any parting words? Phil, before we close out?
The name debate has been deaded. The Combine's heating up. Draft season's coming soon.
PCM.
It's an interesting time. Interesting things are afoot.
It is.
So
strange things are afoot at the Circle K. You get the reference? You know the reference?
I know the reference.
Okay. Dev, you know the reference? You're muted. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, man. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. I thought you would have got that one.
For all I don't like Bill and Ted was the only movie where Keanu Reeves was not Neo in, but
dude.
Yeah. By the way, the worst third one, I guess the newer one. The worst movie I ever saw in my life. One of the worst movies I ever saw in my life.
You mean the recent reboot? When I say recent, I mean like within the
it was terrible.
Yeah,
don't shit juice.
Don't want to watch it. Yeah, Yam says Waste Management Stadium. Hopefully they'll fix that.
I did watch Mean Girls though. By the way, the musical, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. There's a couple of scenes on there where it's very. How do you say they're portraying high school girls, but they don't really seem like high school girls? That's like the Indian girl on there. There's a scene where they obviously dress scantily clad. The scantily clad dress Halloween scene in the actual movie.
Do they do the Christmas dance scene again?
Yeah. That's nowhere near
okay
as bad as the Halloween scene when you see the chick dancing. It's like this chick's got space globe size boobs, man. And, she's like portraying a high schooler. Obviously, she's not in high school, in real life. But when you see it, it's like that's crazy. Like the stuff they're like wearing to high school, it's crazy. But it's good. It was an okay movie. If you like Mean Girls, check out Mean Girls musical, man. It's not that
Deluxe says Wonder Woman 84 is the worst movie.
84, it was a terrible movie. What I understand about Wonder Woman 84, how they give her more powers in 1984 than she did when she was fighting against the Abomination in the Justice League movie. Like she could fly all of a sudden or turn invisible. Yeah, it doesn't make it.
She had the power of the 80s.
Yeah, how did she just have less power?
Two things I'm watching right now is Masters of the Air on Apple TV. Chef's Kiss. It is the band of brothers for World War II bombers, and then the brother's son on Netflix. It's just phenomenal.
Guys, it just dawned on me.
What?
I have our next name for the stadium.
What?
What?
All right. So out in Pasadena, California, they have the Rose Bowl, right?
Yes.
And they have, they used to have the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
The next stadium name needs to be the Ben's Chili Bowl.
Oh, that would be pretty good. Ben's Chili Bowl. They don't have the money to put their name on a stadium, but that would be fitting for DC for sure.
You don't think they have $15 million?
Fuck no, dude. I mean, Obama ate there. That's their claim to claim.
Actually, a lot of people ate there.
A lot of people ate there, yeah.
Hey, if they have enough money to build more than one location, including a couple in Nats Park.
Yeah.
I've been watching Halo, by the way.
Yeah, I heard Halo's
pretty Bowl 2024.
Season's good.
I like it. Yam says WW84 is dog water. It broke so much WW lore, and I want to check out Shogun. Shogun's next on my list. Yeah, I will watch Shogun. But I'm telling you, brother, son.
Iron Claw is pretty fucking good too, by the way. The movie Iron Claw about the wrestler dudes.
It is a great movie.
Yeah. Oh my god, man. Who'd have thought?
You watched it?
Yeah, it's fucking dope. Zac Efron, Jeremy out the dude to play the lip on
It keeps popping up on my Horizon to watch.
It's about the Von Erich brothers, man. This is good.
It's based on a true story. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's either condensed or whatever, as you expect, but it's still a great movie nonetheless. And if you know the lore, you'll point out stuff that you're like, that's not right, but you'll still appreciate how well they did the movie.
That's fair.
I enjoyed it. And I think most people will too. It is an A24 movie, so be prepared. There's some gazing shots of crotches, but that's just, like I said, A24 fan service.
Some gazers. That's all right.
Well, I think I'm gonna go watch what's the name tomorrow for date night? Dune 2.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I got film with fall suit, so I'll make it till Saturday because I'll be coming off work.
Heard there's some slight deviation from the books, very slightly, but Philip Bullock says The Man from Nowhere. Not sure what that is. Brandon Cole, Brother's Son is a Netflix series. It's about this Chinese mafia is in Taipei or Taiwan or Hong Kong doing their thing. And they're Michelle Yeoh, if you like Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's in America with the other son, and they have no idea that the other side of the world is the leader of the biggest Chinese triad in the world. And all of a sudden it comes to America and they're like, hey, here I am. They're the Sun brothers. It's a very, very good series. I highly recommend it. So, all right, we're going to shut this one down. We'll be back next Thursday. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We love each and every one of you guys. Like I said, always, you guys carry this channel. You guys make everything we do more fun. And looking forward to the getting more and more content during the off season for you guys as we get closer to training camp and everything else that comes with it. So thank you so much for tuning in, especially those from YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you please hit that like button on YouTube if you're watching it right now. And this is also available if you want to watch or re-listen to this on the audio tomorrow, or watch it on Facebook or YouTube. It's always there. So, all right, guys, here we go. We'll catch you guys next Thursday. And we love you guys as always. Peace and hail. We out. Boom.